Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Excel Saturdays Tips and Tricks. This is your host Rain and we are going to go through lesson number 2. So I'm very excited because we're going to cover a lot of things today, including data validations, adding multiple rows and columns at once, number format shortcuts. We're going to talk about how to assemble a simple functions by referencing a cells or a data table. Alright, so let's get it started. So data validations is basically having the person who is using, so the user of the spreadsheet, to enter only the data that you want, so it can potentially prompt a specific analysis. So let's start with the first one. There are different types of data validations. So what you have to do is go to the Data tab, go to Data Validations, and there's whole numbers, lists, dates, text length, and so on. So we're going to start with whole numbers. So notice that there's this box right here. It actually says it's basically reminding the user, what I actually want to enter within this data. So I don't want hello world entering into the cell. So text column, nope. Data validation. So input message right here, hello world. Well, not really. I actually want the user to enter, please enter a whole number between 1 to 100. Okay, there you go. So see, that says be careful, please enter a whole number between 1 and 100. So what happens if I put 50.5? Oh, look, please enter. Well, this actually you can add it. So actually we're going to talk about that real quick, but really quickly. But I'll actually show you 999. So 999 is definitely greater than 100, and we don't want that. So what I'm going to do is data validation error message. So you can actually enter an error message for those people. Stop. Please enter this, right? So it's very useful. Now another thing is choose from list. This is actually the most common one that I use specifically. So what happens is you want the user of the spreadsheet to only select data that you want them to enter. So here is green, SEM, things like that. So there's actually a drop-down list, which is super awesome. Which the way to do this is you have to click data validations and hey, hello world. That's just the error message and the input message. And see the sources. You can enter what you want. So text, you actually just enter what the texts are, and then if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the list, it can actually be not a drop down if you don't want it to be. So let's say if I uncheck this and click OK, see the drop down button actually disappeared. And if I enter something that is not, from that list, like Matt, that does not work, and it says hey hello world. That is not what I wanted to say. Well, all I gotta do is change it. Data validation error alert. Alright, so pretty basic. Let's move on to the next one. Oh wait, I gotta talk about this really awesome shortcut real quick. So in-cell dropdown, enable that again. So here's that tip that I want to show you, and that is if you press Alt plus down, that actually, okay, so Alt down actually prompts the entire list. You don't have to put your mouse over that small triangle there. So it's useful, Now you enter Donovan. Pretty cool. Alright, dates, pretty normal, pretty regular. You just select data validation, and then between what? So pretty simple. Now let's talk about this one though, because this is really useful as well. It's so enter something lesser than 30 letters. So In a scenario where, let's say, management has this spreadsheet that they want the employees to enter enter a comment, and let's say this comment has to be 10 letters long, because if it was any longer, it would be too long. It'd be too wide for us to print it on a 8 by 11 inch paper. So what you can do is you can restrict how many letters a person, your employee enter. So data validation, text length. So you choose that one, and then for the data, say lesser than, let's say lesser than 10 letters, because we don't want something that's too much, right? Too long. Okay, so if I enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, look, it says that's actually 10, right? Because it's lesser than 10, I have to enter less than that. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Cool, it actually went through, but if it was any longer, it wouldn't. Oh, look, I reminded myself to talk about this shortcut that I missed from last video, and that is entering Shift plus F2. So what Shift plus F2 does is, if you're reviewing someone's Excel file and you want to insert a comment, which is very common, you would have to right click and do insert comment, right? But if you know all these cool shortcuts, why don't you just do Shift F2? Look, you can enter anything you want. It's really fast, right? Cumulative exercise, Shift F2. There you go. So it's a shortcut that I missed, so I wanted to talk about it. Now let's talk about multiple rows and columns. This one's really useful because think about you had to, let's say you had to insert 10 extra rows right here. If you had to do that one by one, that would take a long time, right? What if you had to insert like 35 rows? What you actually have to do, what you can do though, is if you select the number of rows you do want to insert, right? It says 10 right here. What you gotta do is go to the first thing and press insert, right click and then click insert. You actually insert 10 rows all at once. So this really speeds up that process of doing it one by one. Alright, so next thing what you can do is, well, I'm also going to talk about delete cells. This is really cool because Excel actually detects a lot of things. So let's say I click delete cells right now and selected these three, it will definitely go up. See, it did just go up. But if I did right here, and I click delete cell, it wouldn't go up. It would just go. Oh, right, this one's merged. So let's say here, it would just go to the left. So how can you actually choose what you want Excel to do? What if you actually want this percentage to move up by deleting this currency tab, currency cell? What you can do is actually click this drop down here and do delete cells. See how it says it just goes up? What if I want it to go to the left? You just select shift cells to the left, and look, the shift plus. So it used to be here and here, it went to the left. So you can do anything you want. Just tell Excel what you want it to do, and it'll do it for you. It's awesome. All right. So yeah, let's talk about number format shortcut. So this is another shortcut that I left out from our previous lesson, and this one's actually really awesome. I really like this because when you normally make a pivot table, it's actually in numbers. And if let's say you were talking about revenue and you want to quickly change it to currency, all you have to do is Control Shift 4. Look at all that turn to currency, right? It's really awesome. Now, that's Control Shift 4 is not the only thing here, right? There's also Control Shift 1 that you can actually change it to a number, but the number default is has two 2 decimals. So all you gotta do is remove those decimals, and there we go. We have numbers. Now custom, that's really useful too. So Control Shift 2, you actually have to choose a custom one, and then every time you do Control Shift 2, it'll be that format. 3 is actually, Control Shift 3 is really cool too. It's general, and in this case, since it's 2000. Oh, it's I put 2013 here. 2013 just means 2013 days till, since the beginning of 1990, because that's how Excel works. When you enter, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 2, 6, 5, 6, that just counts how many days it has passed since 1990, January the 1st. So then if you do Control Shift 3, it would give you this right here, which is April the 9th, 1907. That just means 1907 was the 2656 days after 1990. It's really interesting. I never knew that till about a couple months ago. It's pretty cool. All right, next thing. Weird. Okay, weird. Yeah. Okay. So currency, we already talked about it. Now percentage. This is really useful as well. So imagine you had 0.49, 0.54, 0.01, 1 minus this, okay, and then 1. You want all of these to be in percentage. Well, how do you do that? Control Shift 5. Look, all these adds up to 100%, right? It's really useful. I really like these number format shortcuts. It really helps a lot at work. All right, so we're going to talk about how to assemble a simple function. So to start a function in Excel, you actually have to press Enter first. Once you press Enter, now you can start anything you want. I really like the VLOOKUP function, but we'll do VLOOKUP another day. It is going to be lesson 4, unfortunately. So, okay, so simple function. We're going to talk about sum first. So sum, over here we have the function. So equals, right? Sum basically sums up a field. So it could be anything you want from here to here. So see how that did not work? That's because after you press sum, you have to input your parentheses. So once you click that, now you can actually select these, all of these, and then enter, and it works. So Excel basically makes the column to be basically, that just means it's a data field. Okay, and you can move it too. So it's really useful. Over here I wanted to show you, sometimes you want to show your users what function you actually entered into the cell. So see how this went through, and this function over here went through and give you 55. If you put this thing, it's like a parenthesis. I'm not sure what it's called, but if you enter this right here, that little thing right there, it basically stops Excel from evaluating that formula, and instead it just gives you a text. See, over here now it's a text. Let me move it to the left. All right, so this did not go through, but if I remove that again, it does go through, and it's 55. Yes, because the sum of all these numbers is 55. All right, so now that's basically referencing a cell. or referencing different a data field, so a lot of cells together. But you can also name a data field, a table, and then just sum that table. So I did naming exercise already. So why don't I delete that right now? Okay, so what I have to do is go to formulas. There's a name manager. So I'm gonna go to here, delete this. Okay, yes, I do want to delete it. Look, it does not work. All right, so how do I do this? Well, first you have to select the data that you want to name. Okay, where do I insert a new name? Wow, right here. This is really awesome. It's called, see, the name box. Okay, so I'm gonna say this is data, because that's what the header is, data, and then enter. Now this entire field became data. Now if I go here, equals sum, I could do all these and get 55, but because I already named that table to be data, that data field to be data, if I enter data, see right here, you actually have like a tag, little tag thing. It shows that you are actually prompting a table that you already named. Now I press tab and then close the parentheses. You don't have to though. Okay, you can close it or not. It'll all work. Look, 55. See how these two are both, well, they're different. Wait, let me just put this little thing on to show you what I did. Okay, so see how these two functions, they're different. However, one is referencing cells and the other one's referencing a table. But both of these numbers are 55, right? They both worked. That's awesome, right? Okay, it's very exciting in the future because when you have a lot of different things to analyze and you want to reference different tables, you'll be lost because all these things are very hard on the eyes. If you have, you know, data and then data 2, data table 3, data table 4, it's easier to navigate what you're actually referencing. Okay, so that's pretty much it for today. However, I want to show you something really quickly to just you know, use everything we learned today. So let's say I wanted to insert 5, whatever. Insert all these, copy paste it over here. Okay, what I'm going to do is I am going to assemble a table real quick with the data validation. So I'm going to name this to be what? Number format shortcut. So I'm going to name this to be shortcut 1. Okay, so I named this to be shortcut number 1, and now I'm going to insert a function. Even though we haven't learned VLOOKUP, we will in the future, but the lookup, and I'm going to look up here, and then comment to be the next thing, table array. I already named this table to be shortcut 1. See, I don't have to finish it because pressing tab automatically selects shortcut 1 table array, and then column number to be 2, and then range exact match, close the parentheses, done. Alright, why is it an array? Well, because there's nothing here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to have a data validation here. Data validation has to be a list of these. Alright, so now if I select something, look, it actually shows me. Okay, so equals, okay, well, I'm gonna copy this over. G13 is going to be G. Should have locked it. Doesn't matter. Now I'm looking at the third column. Alright, so okay, so we have right here custom. Oh wait, no. Now I'm gonna make a general. Okay, so anyhow, I have assembled a lookup table of this entire table here, but in a list format. So now I can select anything right here and select percentage. What is the percentage shortcut? Well, you gotta do Control Shift plus 5. General, Control Shift plus 3. Currency, Control Shift plus 4. See, that's very fascinating, and that's like the coolest things. One of the coolest things you can do with Excel, because you're referencing something that leads to a change into another cell that also gives you the change to another cell. So yeah, if you can do that in the macro base, like what I did here, then it will be even more intriguing. So, all right, so that's all. Oh, wait, let's make this a table. Control Shift 7. I mean, not a table. Add borders to it to make it look nice. Control Shift 7. Woohoo! Now there's borders. Yeah, Excel is awesome. Anyways, this concludes lesson number 2, and we are going to do lesson number 3 in 2 weeks. Hopefully, exams won't be too busy, and yeah, have a great weekend, everyone.